Good morning, everyone. Christopher Ricker here, New York City Parks Environmental Educator at the Greenbelt. We hope you all at home joining us virtually are having a wonderful holiday season. Healthy, safe, with your friends, loved ones, and community. It's a little loud right here. We are at the intersection of Manor Road, Rockland Avenue, and thank you for joining us for our virtual Greenbelt at Home Scenic Perspective hike. Of course, there's a little bit of traffic here right now, but as soon as we get settled, we'll head off onto the trail. And I'm just walking over to join our guide for this virtual hike today.
Hi everyone, Angel Ellers here. Welcome to this Scenic Perspectives hike. You may be wondering why we are kind of in the middle of traffic for a really awesome Greenbelt at Home hike, but it will become evident really quick because we are going to go through Egbertville Ravine. What we're going to have to do, since this is the intersection of Rockland and Manor and Meisner, we're just going to have to be extra careful as we walk across. So when you walk across the white and the blue trail, please take this kind of care and caution like we are here. Take a look to the left, any traffic from Manor, to the right, and then up the hill we also have Egger Nursing Home. So just make sure that in all three of those directions you're clear. You're going to come across the street. You look over this really beautiful stone wall that has a very special sign. And as you can see, and you've probably seen it before, it says Richmond Creek, which is one of the more important waterways here on Staten Island, especially in the Greenbelt and especially to our hike today. Over here toward the street that heads up to the Egger Healthcare Center. So if you wanted to come out here and park, there's really great news because there's parking right nearby, as we see somebody parking right here. And this is actually the entrance of the trail. So we're going to let them park safely and then enter into the blue and the white trail. So I'll show you the trail blazes that indicate that this is where we're going. And they're right here. So I don't know how many people are familiar with the language of trail blazes, but this here tells us that for the blue trail and the white trail, we're going to be making a right turn. If it were a left turn, this top square would be on the left side. If it's just a single blaze, then that means you're going straight. So as we come through, we know we're making a right turn. We see the ice ladder rescue station, which is a clear sign that we will be seeing some water. And as we walk into the woods here, we will start to feel the shift in the landscape and the sounds of the cars will diminish as we move farther and farther in.
So those that are joining us, because we just had a huge influx of people, welcome to Greenbelt at Home virtual hike, Scenic Perspectives with Angel and Chris. And we are currently on the white and blue trail, and as Angel mentioned earlier, at Egbertville Ravine. So thanks for joining us.
We wanted to stop here after we got in from the street to kind of orient ourselves a little bit and let you guys know how you can approach this space. So we came from Rockland and Manor or Meisner. You could come from the Nature Center trails, which would be the blue, white, yellow, and take the red to connect also over this way. You also might be coming through the yellow trail of Mount Moses from Bloodroot Valley, or even from High Rock Park, which is right across the creek and up the hill in front of us. But the way that we're going to go today is to the right, which is kind of more toward Richmond Town. So we're actually walking back to High Rock Park this way. If you connect through the blue trail, you can go through the bottom. We'll tell you a little bit about that later. But I just saw a little sign of life or nature here in actually the death that occurs. So something really special I wonder if anybody out there knows what kind of bird this is. I know a bunch of our Greenbelt people out there know that at least it is a woodpecker, for sure. And it is what we believe a red-bellied woodpecker. I'm going to move it off the trail just because I think that's the most respectful thing to do of any creature that deserves some sort of proper burial. You never know what you might find out on the trails, and the best thing I think is to set it to the side. That'll be the food for some animals or insects to come through, and that is the circle of life, as they say. As we're walking through, we can see signs on the trees that many people have been to this ravine. Maybe some people are wondering what exactly a ravine is. You may have some ideas in your mind about exactly what kind of natural formation that is. And what it is something very steep, kind of decline that has water going through it, which is how it eroded into this very steep ravine. A ravine is larger than a gully, smaller than a canyon. And as we walk through, we can still see, because it is winter and many of the leaves are off the trees, we can see the cars on Rockland Avenue. But as we look forward, we can see nothing but greenbelt. And I think that's a really amazing contrast when we can see the hustle and bustle of end of year 2020 going on right next to us, but we have the ability to take a nice serene walk through the woods. On the blue and white trails, and we will continue to be on this segment of both trails for this whole walk. And just up to our right, up this right steep side of the ravine, is the Egger Healthcare Facility. And as I've been thinking about this walk today, I've been thinking a lot about the healthcare workers that have been working so hard this year especially, and how maybe some of them have taken some time from their stressful days and come out here and been able to really get the health benefits of nature that we all deserve. And they're very lucky to have access to this space. And this space is actually accessible by multiple public transportation methods. So you can take the train to New Dorp and then take a bus from there. The 53, the 57, and the 74 come out here. So it is accessible by train, bus, and car and bike, and even by foot, depending on where you're coming from. Taking another right turn up this hill. little bit about the namesake of this ravine. It's named after the Egbert family, who has lived in this area since about 1700. They owned the plot of land from Rockland Avenue and Richmond Road over this way. And there were several different farmers in the area at that time, but there wasn't very much development, and most of the land was left to be a beautiful wilderness. And in the 1800s, the Egbert who lived here then was a farmer and a weaver as well. And from what I read in the book about High Rocks, I learned that there was a tavern called the Black Horse Tavern that was at Richmond Road and Amboy Road, which is maybe about a mile this way forward where we're going. And that was a place it was a tavern owned by the great-grandmother of Cornelius Vanderbilt. And so he was one of the most affluent and influential residents of the island. And it was a place where it was very well known that there were lots of British soldiers to sit there and get what they say rum-loosened lips, because after a few drinks they'd start to talk about some things that maybe they wouldn't want American spies to hear, but there may have actually been American spies there, who would then get on their horses and start to travel from Richmond and Amboy on their horses down through here, through Egbertville Ravine, before they turned right and went up into what they called Black Horse Ravine then, which is Bloodroot Valley. And that was the way that they were getting to General Washington's outpost in New Jersey, where they were safe to tell all of the secrets that they learned at the tavern. So I think that's a really amazing thing, that this major thoroughfare of Rockland Avenue has always been a thoroughfare like that for hundreds of years.
I think that Blue Jay agrees with you.
I think so. And as I look around here, I see so many tall trees, but a lot of trees that, you know, there's a squirrel dray up here, but there's also several woodpecker holes. This tall, looks like a tulip tree. The top half of it fell off, and I can only imagine that several different creatures live inside there and are taking shelter inside of the trees on these very cold winter days. And this portion of trail is, I would say, a easy hike. There are no real steep inclines that are difficult to surmount. It's a really beautiful, picturesque creek, and the topography is so hilly and carved through by the Richmond Creek that at points of it, it really makes me forget that I'm on Staten Island. It's really amazing.
And you can almost imagine riding a horse through here on your way to the tavern.
Absolutely. We do have some quite large trees. This is one of the first ones that I've seen, but this tulip tree that I can tell is a tulip by the deep grooves in the bark, but also if you look really high up, you may not be able to see it on the camera, but there are the remnants of the woody tulip flower petals, which you can see throughout the winter, and it's a dead giveaway of what kind of tree that is. Also one of the tallest, straightest trees that you'll find here on Staten Island.
I think we have a video dedicated to tulip trees on the Greenbelt, Staten Island Greenbelt's YouTube channel, which all of you at home should subscribe to and like. so that you can continue to join us for virtual programs.
That was one of my favorite videos. I really like that one.
Heather said the bird is saying hello.
The bird keeps saying hello. That's right. Hi, bird. Absolutely. Hi, Heather. So something really important about this ravine and why this ravine is here, which is thanks to Richmond Creek, because it has done all of the carving here. Well, not all of the carving. The glacier that was here previous to now, in the last 10,000 years, helped to carve, but then the waterway continued to etch and build this into the landscape. So Richmond Creek is one of the longest creeks in all of New York City, actually. And at some point back in the 80s, it really needed some help. It had some bacteria growths, and it had a lot of sediment filling in the creek that was making it hard for, there was lots of flooding, and it needed stormwater management. So the state's DEC stepped in and started the Blue Belt, or made this a part of the Blue Belt program, and paid lots of attention to Richmond Creek starting in the 90s. So that the detention basin that we first started on at the beginning of this video is one of the biggest features in all of the Blue Belt for the stormwater management. And so what it's done is it's helped to remediate the intense flooding that was happening downstream in Richmond Town by managing in that basin like several feet of stormwater as it's falling. And so what it's doing is it's helping to maintain habitats for particular aquatic species and allowing them kind of this contiguous waterway that they can travel across the island in. So you want to go down here a little bit? I'm going to take you a little closer to the creek itself so you can hear it and feel it through this Facebook Live program. We have a red-tailed hawk circling above the road. What a beautiful scene this is. A very scenic perspective, I would say. We actually have some tree carvings, which we tend to discourage completely. It's not a good idea to leave your mark on a tree. It can cause some real problems, but this one is particularly pertinent to this locale. It says, this is dedicated to all the people of Egbertville and the boys. So we know that there are some people out there who really love this space as much as we do, and they left their mark in their way. We may leave our mark in a different way, by adhering to the ethics of leave no tricks. And that is in the bark of the nice clear American beech tree. And if you take a look at the ground, I see only a few kinds of different leaves out here of trees and clues as to which trees are growing here. And so this is a really great way to ID trees in the winter. If you don't have all of the information, this is one of the really best ways to do it. You may also find different bits of seeds. Oh, here's one. I was telling you about the Tulip Seed, and this is exactly it. So it's a really beautiful kind of beige and green and orange flower when it's in full bloom. And this is what it turns into. And it's a really beautiful memory that's saved of the tulip tree in winter. We're going to make our way back up to the trail. And at this point in the trail, if you were out here, you might start thinking about which direction you'd like to go in, because the blue and the white are going to split, not too far ahead. So if you continue along, you can continue on the white trail, which will take you all the way down to Highland Boulevard near Gateway Park. And that's a really cool walk. It's also a very easy walk. And it's really beautiful, and there aren't that many people out there. So that's a really great option. Or you can continue on the blue trail, which we're going to do, because that's going to take us right back up to our office in High Rock Park. But the blue trail is great also because it'll take you past Walker Pond. It'll take you down past the Altamont Pond as well, and around the backside of High Rock Park. And then once you get there, as you all know, the opportunities are endless. And here we are not only here to ponder our own journey ahead on this path or this day, but also think about nature's path and journey in the future, because as Richmond Creek continues to flow, all of these waters continue to spread life and health through the rest of the plants and the animals and landscapes of Staten Island. So we're very thankful for this clean waterway and the DEC for the Blue Belt system. So we'd also like to thank all of our lovely Greenbelt patrons for supporting our programs throughout the year. This is our final program of 2020, And it's been a whirlwind of a year, and we're so happy that we've been able to continue to provide such programming. It's been good for us and good for all of you, so thank you so much. And we look so forward to next year and all of the good things to come. Absolutely.